Welcome back to the Formula 1 save here on the ChesnoidPlays channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all of Season 2 here at Ferrari. Of course, it was our first year at Ferrari after spending Season 1 at Haas. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the new FC25 player career. Do check the channel page for any of that save if you've missed it over the past few days. Thank you very much indeed for the support there. We start a new season in this driver career with lofty ambitions. At the end of last season, we had some really strong results. A win in Vegas, a win in the sprint race and main race in Qatar, and we came close to a win in Abu Dhabi as well. We're on the run of, in theory, 4 straight podiums. And we would very much like to keep that going if we possibly can. We're in Bahrain, of course, for the first race. We DNF'd here last year, and for this season, at the beginning, I asked you guys in the last episode whether we do or don't turn on faults again. Technical and mechanical faults will both be on for the beginning of this season rather than just technical faults. So, as we were at the beginning of the last season, however, again, if it gets a bit silly, we'll turn them off again. But I think, because we're starting a new season, we're starting fresh, let's do things the realistic way. And hopefully we can be super unrealistic in that we're going to challenge and win the driver and constructor championships this year in a Ferrari, which hasn't happened since 2007, at least on the driver's side, and maybe even before that with the constructor. So, we'll do what we can here in Bahrain. We're currently supposedly the best car, but again, there are weak points with the vehicle that we'll be driving. But fingers crossed, it's still strong enough to give ourselves the opportunity to challenge at the front end. Of course, here in Bahrain, the AI are stronger than they are at most other circuits. So previously, we've actually dropped the difficulty from 105 to 103 here. But we're going to stick to 105 and stick it out, suck it up, and see what we can do here in Bahrain, and then we'll be, of course, at 105 for the rest of the season. With regards to driver transfers, there's only been one, I believe. Sergio Perez is now at Haas. Yeah. Kevin Magnussen is now no longer in the sport, and Ollie Behrman is in the Red Bull. Yeah. Ollie Behrman in a Red Bull. I think that's the only change. Perez to Haas to replace Magnussen, and then Behrman to Red Bull to replace Perez, who went to Haas. Everything else is as it was. Of course, some changes from the first season. Teo Pourchaire is in a Williams. We have Esteban Ocon in a Sauber. We've Nico Hülkenberg in an Alpine. We have Perez in a Haas. We have myself at a Ferrari. Carlos Sainz is in the other Haas. And the rest is as you would expect it to be. Of course, Lewis Hamilton will be in a Ferrari next year. In real life, this is technically the 2026 season we're heading into now. But I'm going to go to practice, get as many resources points as possible. Let's upgrade the hell out of the car this year. And hopefully,
the long wait is over.
Fingers crossed,
a brand new season,
win a championship or two.
Well and truly
drop the video a like if you're looking forward to this third season here at Ferrari. Come and join me on stream to see every lap of every session. I'll see you after practice. Practice session's done. Maximum resource points acquired. The AI are very strong in Bahrain. I've had a back and forth with live chat as to what we should do difficulty-wise. My preference is probably to lower it to 103. But in the intro I said I'd suck it up. So let's suck it up. Let's see what happens. I'm going to put fresh parts in for the important sessions, because why would I not? And then we'll use those first parts for practice moving forward. But I don't know where I'm going to qualify. The AI now do use overtake in qualifying as well, and that's something I've not done before, so I don't really know how to maximise pace with qualifying either. Where to use the overtake button, where not to use the overtake button. So there's a steeper learning curve here than previously we were perhaps expecting. We're running a harder tyre compound set for this round of the championships. We've got 2 sets of hards and 1 medium rather than 2 mediums and 1 hard, which I think is still the right way to go. This could go any which way, because A, the AI are strong, B, they're using overtake button when I'm not, but those lap times, at least I was in the 26s in practice, but Charles is a 26.3, and the McLarens, specifically Lando, was in a 26.1 or 2. He's got a 26.6 there. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay. If we're not okay, then you get to laugh at me, but I think I'll be okay. Assuming they all still look inflated to you, I presume it's just a bad sensor.
We've dropped to P20.
.26.9 is P3, but half a second off pole. But I mean, that's still a respectable position, even if it's not necessarily a respectable time. It's only Charles and Lando that so far have gotten that low down in the 26s. So I think we'll stay at 105. I think we'll stay at 105, and I'm happy. Well, that lap's definitely going to see me through to Q2 at the very least. That was using the overtake button for reference for those of you on YouTube. That lap was using the overtake button. We're actually going to drop a couple more positions, but we're still in the ballpark of the top 5, which at 105 at Bahrain, I'll take. And our Q2 time is a 26.8, which is fast enough, I think, for Q3, but only just, and indeed it is only just. P10 in Q2. Nico Hulkenberg was a 27 flat, so I knew I was faster than him in P11. It was a question whether I was faster than anyone in P10. The answer is yes, I'm faster than Max with a 26.9. Both Red Bulls out in Q2. They're kind of the big team that have fallen off in this save, and Haas are obviously the small team that have performed really well in this save. Down to my building of the car in Season 1, I'd like to add, but unfortunately, now I'm not in that car. It is a bit of an issue because now I have to actually beat that car and overtake it. So Carlos Sainz is Rapidos in that car, but Fernando Alonso is still even quicker in his Aston Martin. Charles Leclerc right behind him. Both Red Bulls out, both Mercedes, both McLarens, both Ferraris, both Aston Martins, and both Haas's all through to Q3. We go again. 25.2, Charles has gone even quicker. 25.2. Oh my god. I think Charles Leclerc is immediate favourite for the World Championship. If I can even get within a second of that, I'd be shocked. Currently on for a 26.4, which is obviously not within a second of the 25.2. Slight bit of wheel spin on exit. I'll use all the battery to the line. It's going to be a 26. Actually, it might be a 26.2. It's a 26.3, which is good enough for 8th. Well, without any shadow of doubt, by far our best qualifying session in Bahrain. So that gives me faith that when we're not at a track where the AI are monstrous,
make sure to join us again.
We're in a great shout of challenging for wins and podiums week in, week out. Both Mercedes 9th and 10th. To be fair, Charles was exactly half a second faster than anybody else And then Lando was 2.5 seconds faster than anybody else again. 3rd to 8th is only 2.5 tenths. It's just that Charles and Lando are gone, mate. Wow. Your 2 favourites for the title in the early stages of this 3rd season. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, no, teammate rivalry. I can't have a different teammate rivalry, can you, Ches? Charles is going to be entering his Michael Schumacher era, I think. Or his Sebastian Vettel era, or his Lewis Hamilton era, or his Max Verstappen era. His dominant period of being a Formula 1 driver. Ready to try and challenge for a podium, but I'll be honest, I'd be absolutely thrilled with a top 5. We've made a decision. The decision is to switch. We're going to start on the soft. We will try and then take that hard tyre to the end of the race. Unlikely, but we'll see what everyone else is doing around us. And I do, of course, have another set of fresh hards I could go to, which aren't that much slower, really, over the course of a stint. Only 3 seconds or so, and I'm absolutely going to lose certainly a chunk of time in losing traction, etc. Start with the idea of doing a 1-stop, knowing we can switch to a 2. But I'll start on the softs. Because if at any point I need to go to one of the other tyres, even though there's only a lap or so in it, I think the mediums would just be the better tyre to be on. At least they've changed it. Look, they're splitting to get into their formation a lot earlier. Sorry, a lot later than they were. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe it was different just because it's a long way up the grid. I might be wrong. Hi, Lewis. I'm just going to... Thank you.
Okay, incredible parking there. Nice.
Whoa, incredible parking, Mark. Will it? Absolutely incredible. Perez in a Haas is going to be something to get used to, for sure. Well, not a terrible start. Equally not a dead impressive one. Someone's going flying up the inside. That's a Mercedes of some description. Hello, sir. It's Lewis Hamilton, I think. Use my battery to burn and get around the outside, and we've managed to stay ahead of Lewis. So we were P8 at the start, and we're P8 now. Lewis is still having a look, though, into turn 4. I don't really want to waste too much time fighting Lewis Hamilton, if I'm completely honest. Is that Carlos Sainz? It is. Carlos Sainz has got to the head of this train, past the McLarens, and Charles Leclerc is already a second and a half down the road. He's on softs, of course, when everybody in front of me now, other than Lando Norris, is on mediums. So Charles is going to extend quite the gap at the beginning of this stint and of this Grand Prix, but later in the race, that should come back towards us, or towards everybody, as then we're all on the hard tyre. I will go as far as I can dare take these softs.
That's a decent start. Good
but
job.
It's really not going to be that far, I don't think. I'm pretty certain we're going to commit to a 2-stop relatively early on in this stint. We'll do what we can. Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap of the race so far, unsurprisingly. He's got such a big gap.
We can use DRS when
It's
you're within
huge.
1 second
Like
of the car
3 or 4
and
seconds
DRS
already.
zone.
Oh, Lance, sorry. Now I broke myself. Oof, that was close. Thankfully, he saw me coming. We've got DRS though, and Max Verstappen behind doesn't, which is quite nice. Let's build a gap to those behind, please. We're aiming for a top 5 today if we can get it. Max now back within DRS range. Max is actually going quite quick in that Red Bull. I wonder if race pace in the Red Bull is significantly better than the quali pace. Either that or they just both had a poor qualifying session. It is Ollie Behrman in that other Red Bull, we have to be honest. And whilst Ollie Behrman is very good in real life, in game, he's going to be very much hamstrung by his rating, which is not going to be anywhere near as quick as Max Verstappen. So I think Max probably just had a poor qualifying, and actually there is more pace in that Red Bull than a P11 qualifying actually predicted. Charles does a 29.7, and we do a 31.5. So Charles is 1.8 seconds a lap faster than me right now. my braking point a bit better this time. Not running the risk of clarting straight into the back of Lance Stroll. Max is with us, but then there is a gap now with no DRS back to Nico Hülkenberg in P10 as those medium runners are starting to fall back. I wonder whether we did make the right call to start on the softs. That said, the medium runners in front aren't necessarily falling back through themselves, are they? So it's not like Lando's disappearing, nor Lance actually. Whereas Charles has gone, mate. I can't believe the gap that Charles Leclerc has opened up already. That hopefully is what we're going to be able to do at most other circuits. This is one of the tracks where the AI are just super, super strong. Whereas we're obviously better at a lot of other circuits. Bahrain in general is a weak circuit for me as well. It's kind of the double whammy. But so far, holding on quite comfortably to P8. And fingers crossed, with some good strategy, some decent tyre wear, maybe a smattering of decent driving, we'll be able to get a strong finish here nonetheless. We're still very much in the train for second, although I think Lando has just taken that second place back off Carlos Sainz, and now on those soft tyres will probably look to extend a bit in these early stages. 10% wear on the rear left already after 3 laps. Gently and with great caution, Tom. It's literally just practice, mate. Do some time trial. Obviously, it's slightly different with wearing tyres, but if you do some time trial with no traction or medium traction, you'll certainly be able to get more used to it. Hope to be able to stick around for lobbies today, but something's come up with little man, so we're going to have to do it. No worries. I hope everything's all right with Felix, mate. Love to you and the fam. Do I go for Lance here? No. It's not the right time. But we are starting to get backed up behind Carlos Sainz now, which is not something we were saying a lot of last year. Last year it was Carlos Sainz that was doing the disappearing, like Charles Leclerc is right now. Here comes Max Verstappen. I didn't use any battery down that straight to try and save some for later in the lap. I try not to use it between turns 3 and 4 if I can avoid it, because then I'm weaker at this part of the circuit, so I want to use the battery more so in sectors 2 and 3 than I do in sector 1 if I entirely can avoid doing so. Still very much tucked up in the train here, so pleased enough with the performance so far. We haven't made any positions, but we're quite evidently very much in the fight still. Now I presume everybody's on a 1-stop. I will ask Mark in a moment. But you imagine everyone's on a 1-stop, a soft to a hard, or a... Well, it's going to have to be soft to a hard, isn't it? It's not going to be a soft to a medium, because the mediums don't do any more than the hards do. Sorry, than the softs do.
Behind you now. Okay, they're on old softs.
Go away, Max.
4 laps on their tyres. We think they've got 1 more stop. Your last lap time, 1 minute 31.1.
They are 1-stopping, soft to hard. I would be contemplating going soft, hard, medium, or soft, hard, hard, depending on what the gaps are like and what our pace is like on that hard tyre. If our pace on the hard tyre is really good, then I'd be tempted to run 2 sets of softs. Yeah, it's only because I made a mistake, Mark. Chill. I was too busy talking to the people. Our tyre wear was supposedly about 15% better than expected as well, which will be another factor we can use to our advantage, hopefully later in the race on that hard stint. I'm poor around there. Just on 23, you could nail it all the way around that left-hander, and I just don't have the faith in the car at the minute in this Ferrari, all these tyres, to stick. So I'm slightly apprehensive to be full throttle all the way around there. But still comfortably in position, and hopefully it will be strategy that will earn us positions and bigger points today. Maybe even a podium. And Lance is starting to feel the wear on those soft tyres, and the medium is becoming the better tyre to be on. It's only minimal, because supposedly the medium only does 1 extra lap than the softs in terms of its ultimate tyre life. But I'm gonna try and take Lance Stroll here into turn 1 under braking. They're faster than me in a straight line because I'm running slightly more downforce. But I am going to get Lance under braking here, because the brakes on this Ferrari are better than the brakes on that Aston Martin. And that's P7. Now then, stay within touching distance of those in front, please, Ches. Go defensive. Lance is going to go very attacking. Again, though, I fancy myself on the brakes. They're getting all caught up together in front. Tripping over one another almost. Oscar Piastri is now trying to lead this trio, or quartet, sorry, away. Quartet soon becomes a quintet, and then a sextet and a septet. There's lots of us here, and we'd all very much like that P3 podium position, please, Oscar, if you don't mind. Both Hasses are here. Both Aston Martins and one of the Red Bull. I don't know when to box at the minute. Probably about lap 12, although whilst I've still got DRS, I'm not going to go anywhere near the pits. Go on then. Hi Sergio, I'll just ease off the brake a little bit. Whoa, lose the back end and not take the place. Or lose the back end and still take the place. Thank you very much, bye! Right, operation close back in on Fernando Alonso. Make sure you've still got DRS, Ches. Good, let's get it underway, please. Up to P6 in our debut Grand Prix in Season 3. I want to get to the head of this train, which is almost certainly not going to happen. I'm probably going to box before I stand a chance of getting anywhere near the front of this train. We're on lap 10. I'm thinking lap 13 or 14 to go to the hards and then just see how they do. That's my current plan, anyway. I could always extend a little bit longer if we're still in DRS. But at some point, having fresher tyres and an undercut is going to be better than DRS. I believe the one-stoppers are probably not going to stop till about lap 20. One-stoppers is going to be everyone, really.
Perez is behind you. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop.
I think everyone's one-stopping. It's just a case of whether they're soft harding or medium harding. Oh, I've got too ambitious on the throttle there as it all started to come back towards us. Now here comes Sergio Perez. We'll have to go defensive, get on the marbles. And again, the brakes in this Ferrari are very good, and they needed to be there because, again, fighting in front nearly cost us a bit of our front wing. Okay. Certainly there is a large gap to Charles and Lando because they're very fast. But equally, there's a larger gap because this lot are fighting so much. And we're all just losing time. Whereas Lando and Charles are able to just race away in free air.
Right, we need to get past
the gap to Charles is a joke, though. Teammate states 17 seconds.
17.2 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs.
Charles has nearly a whole pit stop gap
lap, 1 minute,
in just the first 11 laps. That's insane. He and Lando were half a second quicker, weren't they, than anybody else in qualifying. And in race pace, they are quite evidently that much faster and more so again in race pace. Unbelievable, Jeff. They're so quick. Charles is already halfway to Saudi Arabia. He's that fast. I've got a bit of a run on Fernando here. If he doesn't go defensive, I might try and have a look up the inside. I'll ease off the brakes a bit. No, I'm too far back. I'm too far back. I'm too far back. Right decision to bail out of that one. That would have just been an accident. Hello, Carlos. Not Carlos. Sergio. Carlos is the one in front, Ches. Not only is he in front of me, he's in front of Piastri now as well. They're slow again on the apex. Now this time, if I am a bit more wary and anticipate the fact that they're going to be slower on apexes and in traction zones, then maybe we can sneak up the inside of someone. And getting third place, or at least fifth place, might not be as difficult as currently it feels like it might be. Tyre wear is really good for us right now, though, in comparison to everyone else. We're making the soft tyre last as long as the medium tyres. So I'm quite happy to do the one-stop strategy at this particular moment in time. But I'm going to be taking my hard tyres considerably further than everybody else. So it's a case of, can we undercut? And then if we can undercut, can we then defend at the end of the race to stay in front?
Be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. We just got a visual representation of that, pal. We nearly ended up sideways.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Thank you, Fernando. I love the brakes on this Ferrari. They're so good. Traction, on the other hand, not so much. Ha! See? See what I mean? It's P5. Maybe I could make it to third before we box. Any extra distance we do on these soft tyres now just makes the one stop more and more likely. Obviously without any sort of safety car or VSC introduction. Oh, Piastri's got an issue. Piastri's got an issue. He was really, either that or he's really just really slow. I think he's got some sort of mechanical issue. He was terribly slow in that last traction zone. Can I get within a second of Carlos Sainz? The answer is going to be no. I'm going to box this lap.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
There's no point just running around with no DRS. I'm in. We're pulling the trigger. In we come. Not sure what happened to Piastri there, but
Okay,
it might well have just been a really bad exit, but it didn't look great for him, and it was an easy position.
Okay, off
Better
we go,
pit stop
back
from
into the
Ferrari,
race.
that's good to see.
Perfect job from
Hopefully
you.
that maintains
There,
itself
mate.
throughout the whole
All right
season.
with that.
Right, pedal to the metal, here we go. Lance will have me. Yuki Tsunoda is my rating rival. That's carried over from last season,
Okay,
I think.
really good. You hit that target nicely. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's keep it clean.
Back up to P16. Although we would have been 15th if Lance hadn't taken me, but still. So fast on those brand new softs. Just quite frankly, not going to be able to keep with him, but don't expect to keep with him.
You've got more control than ever over your ERS mode, so play around with
I know. It's season 3, Mark. I know all that stuff already. Even if I knew nothing about F1 when I bought the F1 game, by this point in a career, I know all that stuff already. Lance already out of DRS range, but it's because of the soft tyre.
Okay, so the car behind's just come in. They're now on the soft tyre. Soft tyres on the car behind.
Planning still to do a My Team on this game, yes. Oh, Charles at turn 4 is either retired or I think he's just spun. I think he's moving again. My teammate, who's miles ahead of anybody, I think has just binned it here. Wait for it. Whee! Those soft tyres are quite worn, and rather evidently, they've caught Charles out there. Lando is not going to catch him, but is going to significantly dent Charles Leclerc's current race lead. 3 more cars in the box. We'll be up to P13 by the time we get to the end of this straight. And there we go. Expecting the front runners in this lap or next lap, or probably a mixture of both. Lando's in, there you go. Lando Norris boxing from P2, and one of the Hasses also doing the same, which means that everybody else will box next lap. There's some more in the box. Lewis Hamilton's going straight on. He'll do another lap. George Russell is in the box this time around. They're all going to hard tyres to the end of the race. This is where our undercut hopefully will earn us enough time that we can hold on. We're 8% worn on our most worn tyre at the minute. So they have about a 7-lap tyre delta on us. But hopefully, with our decent tyre wear, good use of battery, and trying to drive to the best of my ability, we'll be able to hold on for a really strong finish here today. And if there's a safety car at any point, then we can obviously change strategy further still from there. and maybe make some more time. But we boxed from P4 behind Oscar Piastri. No, actually behind Carlos Sainz, as Oscar Piastri had a poor exit onto this straight. Charles is in now, and I expect those others to be in now too, and then I'm hoping that we will be P4 behind Lance Stroll, who is two-stopping. Yeah, they're all in behind Oscar Piastri, so we should overtake them all, and then be Charles, Lando, Lance, me is the plan. The Haas is still in the box. McLaren is now coming out of the box, and we are racing past Sainz and
ERS is low.
Piastri.
ERS is low. Consider changing mode on your MFD, or lift a little with gentle braking into corners to recharge it.
And there we go. That was terribly slow run there. Too busy looking at the deltas top left. We are P4, which is a net P3 if we don't stop again, because Lance is stopping again. Right, Yuki will have me here, but now that they're all wearing softs,
Teammate ahead of us, 17.5 seconds.
I think we'll be able to stick with them. Still 2.7 seconds back to Gasly. That Alpine is not a very good car. I've got a 4.8 second gap to Perez. That's effectively my gap to monitor for a podium finish. As long as we can stay ahead of Sergio Perez, we finish in third. If we want this podium, I'm going to have the biggest elbows known to any human that's ever lived. And they are going to have to be out with spikes on the end to keep Sergio Perez, Oscar Piastri and Fernando Alonso and co behind me. It's going to be all aboard the Chesnoid Express at some point between now and lap 40. And then we need to make a decision as to whether we feel like a new set of tyres can get us a full pit stop's worth of time back again, which at no point really do I think they're going to. We're just going to have to try and battle it out, I think. But this is so much better than I expected at 105 difficulty, if I'm honest. So I don't mind at the minute. Charles is just, well,
lost some time to the car
gone.
behind.
Still, he's so fast, and that just makes me concerned that whilst yes we might be able to challenge for the constructors at Ferrari, oh god, Charles is probably going to be so fast that I'm not going to be able to compete with him at any other track, and he's going to end up just running away with the World Championship because I can't deal with him. I'm going to try and dip underneath these two now. This is full position on the two of them, and that's a lovely little double undertake. Hopefully they can hold Sergio Perez up now. I'm struggling with my rear traction already, and we've not had these tyres on that long, so I'm getting quite sure at the minute that I'm going to two-stop. It's just a case of when do we stop and what for. In theory, the gap that Lance is pulling on us, plus the 3 or 4 seconds he was behind when we boxed, is effectively the sort of swing that we would get if we run the medium tyre at the end. So at the minute, it's about a 15-second swing, which is not enough to gain us all of the positions we'd lose back again. Sergio Perez is having the same ding-dong behind with Pierre Gasly that I had with Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki has since boxed, I believe, actually. Either that or he's just really fallen off. One presumes that Yuki's boxed for a second time on lap 31. See, he might not have done. He might have just fallen off. He has. He's just fallen off. Sorry, Yuki. He's fallen all the way behind Fernando Alonso now. Right, now my main contender for a podium, Sergio Perez, is right up my back bottom by half a second, and we've 26.5 laps left to go. This is going to be an almighty effort of Season 2 Singapore against Max Verstappen-esque levels if we're to hold on for this podium. Still waiting for Lance Stroll to box for a second time. And I can see myself having to do so as well, I think, at this rate. Just to try and protect a half-decent finish. Already you see the back end stepping on me like crazy there, and 21% on the rear left after, well, 18 laps, if that. And there's still definitely more than that left to go. I'll try and stay with Sergio if I can, but I don't know how easy that's going to be. Fernando Alonso is 1.3 seconds behind. It might be a case of put on another set of tyres and just try and earn back as much time as possible, because at the minute
got high reserves of ERS, so
I might just tumble on this set of tyres now. So where Stroll comes out will give us a good idea of where we might come out, because add 10 seconds to that and that's where we'd be if we boxed for a second time. And he's coming out, well, so we come out pretty much last. We would come out absolutely last if I boxed again right now for a second time. There's no way I can make that all back again. Such a long pit stop here in Bahrain. I'm just going to have to try and hang it out as best I can. Yellow flags for a Williams. It's retiring. But I don't think it's going to cause any sort of safety car, unfortunately. Théo Pourchaire is retiring from last place in the Grand Prix. He's out now. But unfortunately nothing's going to come of it other than his retiring. Ferrari driver does have the lead. Charles Leclerc is a long way in it. And Lando is a long way in second as well. 23.5 seconds down the road from us, as you can see top left. So when I get onto the main straight, I'm going to have a good long hard look at the mini-map to see who is closing in on me. At the minute it's just, I think, Alonso and Verstappen. There's the yellow flag for the stricken Williams. There it is on the inside. And there's a bit of a gap back from Verstappen in P6 to Piastri in P7. I think P7 is probably the furthest we would fall at the moment. As we cross the line, there will be 20 laps to go though. The set of tyres now have done just over 20 laps.
Okay, unlucky, mate. That wasn't quite.
Boxing again is just pointless, I think, at this stage.
There's a long way to go.
There's no way we pull back that sort of gap. I don't think, anyway. I'd come out 17th if I boxed at the minute, which is just so far back. Looking at Lance Stroll as a reference point, but then factor in the fact that we were 10 seconds behind him. Verstappen does not have the lead, shut up. Factor in the 10-second gap that we were behind Lance Stroll when he boxed. That puts us considerably further back than that train that he is in. There's no way we overhaul that sort of time deficit. Just got to try and stay where I am. At the minute, I'd probably put money on me finishing P7, but we will fight hard for a top 5 because Piastri's coming after these two. I'm going to want to do it by lap 42 at the absolute latest.
Lap, push hard on the in-lap. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 3.8 seconds.
The mediums are about a second a lap faster than the hards. But obviously they wear significantly quicker. Can hang on to DRS for a bit, but no more than a couple of laps. Same as we did with Sergio Perez. Still, as things stand right now, it's going to be difficult, but I think we could probably finish still in P7 between Piastri and the first of the Mercedes if we just tough it out. I'm going to box this lap. We're going to go to a medium set of tyres, and we're just going to try and get back as close to where close to P7 as possible, because we're definitely not holding on to anything above P7 by staying on these tyres. I just need to get back in front of that Mercedes. That's basically the aim, which is George Russell. We can get back to George Russell, then it's fine. Even just from a let's have some fun in the final few laps point of view.
Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job on the turn in there,
Well,
mate.
then just
Looks like a
struggle,
nice
struggle,
stop
struggle,
time.
struggle,
We're happy with
struggle.
that one.
We've dropped out of the points for the time being. Now, it's time to go and hopefully
Look after these tyres
earn
now.
as
We
many
wanna finish the
places
race on
back
this
that we've
compound.
just lost. Here we go. This will liven things up at the end of the Bahraini Grand Prix. Go for it into the hairpin though on Hulkenberg, on Pierre though.
Brilliant, nice move. Keep
Thanks,
going.
mate. We're both gaining on Nico here. Neither of us know which way to go. Oh my lord, that was nearly very dangerous again. Airplane crash territory once more. We'll try again down into turn 1 and through that complex. Try and box Yuki in, although Nico's gone very, very defensive. I'll go very offensive. Cut back out as far left as I can to widen the angle for the corner. Good. It's P12. Still 11 laps to go. Jeez. Wait a minute. Whoa. Super slow and apparently super aggressive in defence. But we get the job done. Now after Hamilton and Sainz. It's P11. He swung hard and quite late then to the left-hand side. And we're not going to be in DRS this lap for the main straight, but I think Hamilton and Sainz will have a bit of a battle into turn 1. Well, hopefully we can close up on them. Or Lewis is already close enough that he's probably just going to whip round, is he? No. Sainz has got the straight line speed. Hamilton going very aggressive up the inside and will, at least for the time being, get the move done. They'll lose loads of time around here. See the Delta just die. And we've gained a second on them in just those 2 corners. That's how much time you lose when battling through that part of the track. Now I'm going to have to start looking after my tyres a little bit as well. Can't just go full attack mode for the rest of the race. So I need to make sure that these tyres last to the end with some level of performance if I stand any chance of catching Lance and George. Try around the last corner. Sainz has really tightened up the angle for himself, so I might as well. Bye, Carlos. You kind of did that to yourself there, mate. Defending thin air, didn't need to. 9.9 seconds to George Russell. Take Hamilton down the straight this lap. Don't go defensive though, don't cost either of us some time here, Lewis. Let's just go as fast as we can, please. Good lad. I'm going to try and box him in so he doesn't go too defensive. Oh, easy overtake. And Russell has fallen off the back of Stroll now. He's over a second behind. So he's out of DRS. Well, Operation Catch Jaws Russell, that was our previous plan. It's just that it will be for a P8, not a P7 that we probably would have been in.
The car ahead,
steady.
8.6 seconds.
Oh my god. Not the P8 that we probably would have been in. Sorry, P7 that we probably would have been in had we not boxed. But had we not boxed, we would definitely have been at least P7. And the gap currently between P6 as it is right now, where we would be in 7th place, between Alonso and Stroll and the Aston Martins, that gap is not substantial. And you saw the sort of pace we were putting in on the hard tyre 10 laps ago. And that would only have gotten worse. We might even have been caught by Russell and Hamilton and Behrman had we stayed out on that other set of hard tyres. I was basically forced into this strategy. I wonder whether maybe I should have gone to the hard tyre rather than the medium, because these are going to wear to the point of being the same sort of wear that they are behind. But with 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go, I'm not going to catch George. It's going to be a P9 for 2 points plus the fastest lap point. So 3 points for us today. We started P8. We went well. We're running P3 at best. But unfortunately, tyre wear and just the AI's inherent strength around this circuit mean that we are going to finish basically where we started, which is fine. This is still a much better Bahrain finish than we've had in any other season. And it bodes well for the full season if we can improve the car yet further. My only two challenges will be Lance and Charles. And at the end of last season, we had 2 challenges as well, didn't we? In Carlos and Fernando. We were able to get the better of them on occasion. They were able to get the better of me on occasion. And when neither of us were better than the other, it was reliability that was the deciding factor, as per Las Vegas, with Carlos Sainz's car going bang. I feel like we'll win the Constructors' Championship this year without too much of a fuss. It's just a case of whether I can challenge for that Drivers' Championship or not. This race isn't a good gauge of what our competitiveness will be season long. Even if nobody was to upgrade their car, it's not a good gauge of what our competitiveness would be season long. We will be better at other tracks. We will be worse at other tracks. But this is probably top 4 of worst tracks, competitiveness-wise, for me. So I'm hopeful that we can be challenging for podiums and wins almost every week. And provided we upgrade the car in the right direction and we don't get as many failures as we had last season, we get as many successes in the upgrade factory as we possibly can, then there's no reason why it could just be a 2-horse race between me and Charles at the front each Grand Prix. Then the fear would be that 1 horse, Charles, is significantly quicker than the other horse, me, and I'd just be finishing second every race in a land of my own, because Charles is quite clearly in a land of his own today. But time will tell. All we know is there's an exciting season ahead here at Ferrari. It is going to be worth the watch and worth the grind. From a driving perspective, we're going to thoroughly enjoy battling at the front for a full season, rather than starting further back and then finding ourselves battling at the front in the final few races. We're going to get the toil of doing it every single round. Every position matters, every single point matters. Every single lock-up, every single snap of oversteer and loss of traction at the back. It'll all make a big difference come the end of the season. We're going to have to drive to our absolute best every lap of every race if we want to win the World Championship this season. And I would love to win the World Championship this season. We will, as we're in our last year of our contract here at Ferrari, have secret meetings with other teams this year. If one of those teams is McLaren, I am keen to maybe do a 4th season before we move to the My Team and drive that McLaren.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember,
If McLaren don't come in for us, or if we win the World Championship this year, then the next season of F1 24 that you see on the channel will be a My Team with modded liveries as a Jordan F1 revival. But at the minute, we've still got 23 other Grand Prix of this season to go yet, so don't focus on that for now. With 2.5 laps to go here in Bahrain, it's not a great start, but it is a promising one yet still, factoring in everything that we need to factor in. I'm so much happier with the Ferrari this year at the beginning of the season than we were last year. Night and day, the difference between the car we started last season with to the car we're starting this season with. Just need to make sure that we make the most of it each week. I cannot believe how fast Charles has been, though, nor how fast Lando has been compared to everybody else as well. Those two are just unreal.
5.2 seconds.
That's the challenge. Challenge accepted. Charles Leclerc is rounding the final corner. It is a win for Ferrari on opening day. Not the Ferrari we wished it was, but congratulations, Charles.
Okay, gap ahead.
GG, sir.
4.7 seconds.
Very, very well done. That is as dominant a win as you are likely to see. Lando is only now crossing the line in 2nd place. And 3rd is a long way back and still potentially up for contention between Sergio Perez in his new Haas and Max Verstappen, his old teammate in the Red Bull. And I just noticed my fuel there as it's flashing at me at the bottom of the screen. Could we have judged fuel even more to perfection? I've not saved any for the whole race, and we're going to cross the line probably about 0.00. So that's lucky, because that could have come back to bite us. We do gain continually on George Russell throughout the course of the whole stint. Lance Stroll actually caught Piastri and Alonso, and one more lap, he might well have taken another point. Low fuel mode as we cross the line. I don't think I've ever judged fuel quite so accidentally perfectly in my life. It's P9 in Bahrain. 2 points for that, plus the extra point for the fastest lap. 3 points for me, 25 for Charles. I think McLaren might be top of the constructors. The gaps here from Charles back are going to be monstrous. It's such a dominant win. 17.5 seconds to P2, and then more than half a minute from 2nd to 3rd. Sergio holds off Max by less than 3/10. Then it's Fernando, Oscar and Lance all within 6/10 of each other before George and then myself. My fastest lap was a couple of tenths faster than the nearest rival in my teammate Charles Leclerc. Have a look at the standings here then. In the constructors, we are top. Ferrari lead the way after one round of the championship with 28 points to McLaren's 26. Aston Martin on 16, Haas 15, Red Bull 12. We are going to be battling long and hard all season, but I think, provided we upgrade the car well enough, we're going to be able to challenge for the constructors, and I'm now 84 rated as well, which is good. That's gone up right here, right now. Focus plummets, apparently. Cheers, mate. 30. Oh, hello, 43%. So now we can do 2 simultaneous upgrades on the car in every department. Now that changes things very much so. Because we've not had that at all in our time at Ferrari. So maximising resource point gain in every practice session, in every round, is even more important than it was before, especially as upgrades get more and more expensive as you progress through the save. I have 976 points to use to improve the car. At the minute, aero is looking strong. We could do the rear. That's 1100 there. I can't afford it. Could do the brakes, although the brakes are pretty damn good already, if I'm honest, and we can't do anything else on that front other than the brakes at this stage. The powertrain, I can't do anything else there at the moment until I've got more recognition or something else is unlocked by Charles's growth. So quite frankly, I'm not going to do the brakes. I'm going to save, and we're going to do the rear downforce after the practice session in Saudi Arabia. In fact, am I going to get enough resource points here to do it now? I don't think so. 1105, and I need 1125. I'm 20 resource points short. Sag. Not to worry. You can see there that we have the second, actually joint best, I guess, aero with Haas and McLaren, actually, for that matter, and Red Bull. We all have the same aero package. Chassis-wise, we have the 4th best chassis behind Aston Martin, McLaren, and Red Bull. Engine-wise, I can't see, unfortunately, because I've got nothing I can click on to actually take me into that. And then durability-wise, it's not really that important, I don't think, but I can't click on anything durability-wise either to see how we compare. But we know we've got good aero, which is miles away from where we were last season. We know we've got a good chassis. The powertrain is obviously very strong because it's the Ferrari one. And the durability is 19 of 27, so 2/3 of the way complete as well. With 3/4 of the way through the aero and the chassis, and just over halfway through the powertrain. So there's still a lot of upgrading to be done, and still a lot of time to be found. Make sure that we go to tyre allocation. I am probably going to take the harder tyre allocation for Saudi Arabia as well, to be fair. So we should go to that race weekend and, well, see what the weather's going to do. But let's be honest, the weather is probably going to be dry in Saudi Arabia, isn't it? If it rains, we really have been unlucky. It's not raining. Nobody is shocked. So we will get ourselves some extra resource points. We will upgrade the rear downforce, although that's not going to be available for a couple of rounds of the championship. Not until Japan. But still, it's a major rear downforce upgrade, which is absolutely going to help the performance of the car. Well, Operation Challenge for the Constructors and Drivers Championship is underway. We will certainly be better than 9th in almost every other Grand Prix we race in this year. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. Do drop the video a like if you enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of this save. Of course, the player career mode save is still going to come to you every single weekday, and we will try and get as much F1 and FM content to you as we can on top of that, and of course the Manchester United save that continues over on the main channel. That's all for this episode here on YouTube though. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you for the player career very soon, and hopefully some more F1 or FM in the not too distant future after that. Bye bye.